Hey, welcome back to the How to Become a Data Scientist episode number 4. Today we're gonna keep going with the data camps and use iterator for big data. So let's dive into it.
Comfortable with iterables, iterators, and how they work, we're going to check out a particular use case that is pertinent to the world of data science, dealing with large amounts of data. Let's say that you're pulling data from a file, database, or API, and there's just so much of it, just so much data, that you can't hold it in memory. One solution is to load the data in chunks, perform the desired operation or operations on each chunk, store the result, discard the chunk, and then load the next chunk of data. This sounds like a place where an iterator could be useful. To surmount this challenge, we are going to use the pandas function, read CSV, which provides a wonderful option whereby you can load data in chunks and iterate over them. All we need to do is to specify the chunk using the argument, yep, you guessed it, chunk size. As with much of what we do in data science, this is best illustrated by an example. Let's say that we have a CSV with a column called X, containing numbers, and I want to compute the sum of all the numbers in that column. However, the file is just too large to store in memory. We first import pandas and then initialize an empty list result to hold the result of each iteration. We then use the read CSV function, utilizing the argument chunk size, setting it to the size of the chunks I want to read in. In this example, we use a chunk size of 1,000. You can play around with this. The object created by read CSV is an iterable, so I can iterate over it using a for loop in which each chunk will be a data frame. Within the for loop, that is, on each iteration, we can compute the sum of the column of interest and we append it to the list result. Once this is executed, we can take the sum of the list result and this gives us our total sum of the column of interest. Iterators to the rescue. Also note that we need not have used a list to store each result. We could have initialized total to 0 before iterating over the file and added each sum during the iteration procedure, as you see here. Now things get really cool. You're going to use an iterator to load Twitter data in chunks and perform a similar computation that you did in the prequel to this course. Then, you're going to write a function that does the same. Happy iterating, friend.
Okay, here we go. Process large amount Twitter data. So sometimes data can be big. Okay, example, you would just do the process large CSV, Twitter CSV, bring it all together, and let's see. If you're interested in how to access to the data, so you can work with it on part 2. Initial empty dictionary count dict that store the result process of Twitter data. Okay, let's see. Counts dict, is that right? Generate over the file chunk for man, like I don't remember syntax for chunk. For chunk, chunk not chart. For chunk in count dict, right? Generate over column data frame. Column of data frame. Entry in the data frame name. Column in the data frame. The chunk of size 10. Here. Oh man, like I totally lost. Let's see. Print that. So create a dictionary, load the CSV, Twitter, chunk size. Chunk size equals to 10. And rid of entry in with a for loop. Let's see if it's right. Long is not defined. Dictionary entry in chunk by using for loop. Hmm. Chunk. Okay, let's see the hint. Oh, okay. Chunk. So here you get add a quote. Get rid of this one. Oh, okay. Curly bracket is the dictionary. Run. Line 9 is not right. String count different key. Name count dictionary is not defined. Here, I define. Oh, dict. No S. So in latitude, key entry plus entry in the count key plus it, otherwise add 1. Also basically this is a counter. So basically this is a counter. Okay, 70 points. Next one. Extract information of large amount of Twitter data. Same. It's good to know how to process fun, small, more manageable chunk. If it can become very tedious, have a writer write the same code for the same text every time. You will make your code more readable. Define a function, count entry, which has 3 parameters. Define count entry. Count entry return a dictionary with count of occurrence of value for each value. Okay, counts for chunk. What are we doing here? So extract information large amount tweet data. Okay, extract information. Define the function. 3 parameter. First parameter is the field CSV file. Second parameter is C size. Third parameter is column name. Return dictionary with count of occurrence as value of each keys. Chunk in hmm. CSV, right? And it's treated data. So you can read the treated data, has the chunk size. Chunk size equals to C size for area of column in the data frame. Of the column, give the column in the chunk using for loop using generate for generate the column. Why is not generate the rows? I just can't wonder. Chunk chunk in chunk size column name. Return the results. Print the results. Context is not defined. Context. Huh. So the error is like name count stick is not defined. Count sticks is over here, right? What the heck? 23. This is what you return. Oh, okay. So call the function. Okay. Name size is 10. Name is done. Entry is not defined. Entry. Here we go. So entry is basically, so what this loop do is first read the chunk of 10 and 10 chunks, I guess. And for each chunk, entry is just like a column name. Each column name is column name in the dictionary. Keys, then add one. If not, create a new one. Then it's a counter basically. And then at the end, return this iterated like results. basically this list over here, I mean dictionary, and then call the function results and print. So simple as that. What's that? Check the definition of content. Did you correctly specify the body? Yes. Yes, I did. So usually, like if you get the results like this, you get the results, and then it's not right, and then basically I just see the results because there's some places kind of messed up, which is the format, which can't ignore. Oh, chunk column name. So column name is actually a string, so we need to pass out in this way. Chunk is the data frame. Entry is each column, so that's the right version. Wait, even that is not right. How come? Let's see the solution. Chunk size equals to C size. Yeah. Oh, CSV file. Here is not actually the name. We need to pass the variable. Here we go. Here we go. Congrats! Yay!
Congratulations, you've now grappled with the nuts and bolts of iterators in Python land and survived. You've even applied your newfound skills to an example from the world of big data, loading and working on a file chunk by chunk. What's up next, I hear you ask? Well, that's a great question. We've got some of the most important Pythonista tools in store for you: comprehensions and generators. These terms may not mean much to you yet, but soon you won't be able to forget them. In fact, you may even want more because they are that useful.
Wow.
List comprehensions, for example, allow us to create lists from other lists or from columns of data frames, among many other objects. Why would we want to do this? Check this out, for example. Let's say that we have a data frame with a column of timestamp data and we want to extract the year from it. We could extract the column from the data frame, loop over its entries using, for example, a for loop, and then within the for loop, extract the desired information. In that case, we probably would have had to initialize an empty list in which to store the retrieved data also. A list comprehension, however, allows us to perform this entire operation in a single line of code, and it's way more efficient than the equivalent for loop code. This is one of a number of Pythonista data science chops that you'll learn in the rest of this course. Moreover, the entire final chapter will be dedicated to using the skills you're developing to extract meaningful information from a real-world dataset, the World Bank Development Indicators dataset, which, according to the World Bank, presents the most current and accurate global development data available and includes national, regional, and global estimates. See you in the next chapter.
Awesome. So if you guys like, subscribe to the channel, and I see you in the next episode. Peace.